Is it going? Hey everyone, and welcome to the Yarn Journey Crochet Podcast. My name is Holly. I am your host. I live in North Carolina with my family. This is a podcast about crocheting, knitting, occasionally some yarn dyeing, cross stitch, whatever I feel like showing, and the yarns I'm hoarding. Hi. I have tried filming this before, and it has been all day of technical difficulties. So we're going to do this live and get it up and out for everybody. I have no FOs, so I will get straight into whips. Sorry, my eyes are a little dried out right now. I've been staring at a computer all day. So we will get started with some whips. So my first whip is the Ripple Baby Blanket by Daisy Cottage Designs. Oh, hold on. I'll show it to you this way so you can see the design. I was at this little stitch marker here, and I've made this much progress. Not as much as I was hoping to, but we've had a very busy week. I have a couple ends to sew in. The colors are a little blown out. This pink is Rosy Cheeks. I Love This Yarn. This is Ivory from I Love This Yarn, and Graymist. I did add some stitches to make it wider, and I will be adding more rows to make it longer. Right now I'm about halfway through the set of rows that she gives you, and I'm going to be doubling that, so I'm about a quarter of the way. So it's going to be a decent sized baby blanket by the time I'm done. I'm using a candles. It's a 5.5 millimeter hook. It's just a off-brand hook that I bought off of Amazon really cheap. So that is my first one. Let's see, my second one, here we go, is in my Lila Styles bag, which is my Hocus Pocus bag. Hold on. I feel like this looks a little...
Mom.
Yes, Emma.
Your switches.
Woo! Excuse me. Is that any better? Not really. Okay. It just looks, I guess...
It's Hocus Pocus.
Yes, it's Hocus Pocus, which we've watched a lot this week, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've watched it quite a bit.
Who's her?
That's Sarah. Okay, shh, I gotta finish. I did start my own Tri-Peak Fade because a tester noticed that there was a couple issues with it, and one was actually a pretty big issue. The peaks, for whatever reason, were starting to go on the opposite side once she got into, I think it was like the second or third peak. So I have to make my own so I can see where I messed up. And I've started that, and I'm using the same exact yarn I used in the last one. So this one is Polyjuice Potion by, oh wow, that looks terrible. It's more true to color back here. This is Polyjuice Potion by Bad Wolf Girl Studios. Let's see. Sorry about my atrocious nails. I tried painting them and I always mess them up. That's her info. And the other two colors I'm using are Astronomy. Which you can see the sparkle, but the colors aren't as vibrant and as in person. And then this next one doesn't have any stellina in it, but this one is Crest. All by the same dyer. Thank you. Don't do that, please. So I've started that, and I'm using a 3 millimeter hook. And that's my second whip so far.
I'm going to go brush my teeth quick. I'm going to leave the door open.
No. Close the door so Colin doesn't come in.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm going to go brush my teeth.
Okay. Hopefully she gets distracted and finds something else to do. My next whip is my sock. So as you can see, I made quite a bit of progress. This is where you saw it last time. It was barely a sock. And now I have the whole foot in, and I put in my waist yarn to do my afterthought heel. And I am now on the leg. I almost thought it was a foot. Yes, it is Felici. It is Knit Picks Felici and Hibiscus. I know they were discontinuing this color. I don't know if you can still get it or not. I love Felici too. It is a great sock yarn. So yeah, I am just loving the way these colors are coming up. It's a shame that it's being discontinued, but yeah, I totally love it. And I love the fabric that's coming out of it. I'm using 2.25 millimeter DPNs. So I don't know what that is. I think it's like a 1, a 0. I don't know. I just do the millimeters. I don't know the numbers of the letters to anything. So that is my knitting project. Sorry if I'm rushing. It's just like I've been trying to get this up all day. I filmed at, oh my gosh, like 10 this morning, and it's now 4. So I've been trying to get this up for like 5 hours. It's ridiculous. So that is pretty much it for whips. I didn't get a chance to really work on much because this past week, like I said, has been crazy, and I'll go back into that in chatter. So for those who want to listen, they can. If they don't have to. That's fine. Trying to think what else. Okay. Yeah, I think it's acquisitions now, which is probably going to be a really short podcast. Like I said, I'm probably rushing through this, but whatever. So my first acquisition that I actually was supposed to show you last podcast, but completely forgot, is my Supernatural bag that I got from Lila Styles. It's a box bottom bag. It actually holds a lot of yarn. In here right now, I have 1 full skein of fingering yarn and two of the, oh gosh, what is it called? I can't remember. Anyways, this has my top secret Halloween pattern. Okay, wait, please don't. I have an order. I'll get there. So yeah, I love this bag. I don't know if she still has it, but it's amazing. So, and all my sock bag was my Edgar Allan Poe bag, also by Lila Styles. I tend to just get my bags from her because I know the quality is good, and she always has like the best fabrics. So next up would be my Vampire Knits book, which I love vampires. I just do. I even went through the Twilight phase in 8th grade. I was young. I personally believe I started the Twilight trend because in 8th grade, no one has heard of that book when I was in 8th grade, and no one was reading it. I read all 3 books in middle school, and then I went to high school, and everybody was reading it like 2 years later, and I was like, ugh, I'm too cool for that. So anyways, yes, I love vampires. So I saw this on Amazon, and it was been sitting in my Amazon wish list for quite a while. So I decided that I would bite the bullet and get it because it was $8 when I was looking at it. So there's a couple in here that I really love. Like, luckily this is blowing out the page so you won't see the actual instructions. I love this shrug. It is so pretty. I don't know if I'll ever get to make it because I don't know if I'll ever become an intermediate level in knitting. The next one is this beautiful hoodie, which another intermediate pattern. So I don't know if I will ever make it, but I love it. I'm trying to see if there's anything else in here. They have like a men's sweater that isn't too bad, but it's like super simple. I don't know if I like the rolled collar and bottom. I think that would probably bug me. I don't know. But that is my book buy, I guess you can say, for these last 2 weeks. And then, let's see. The next thing, I actually bought this from Randy of Randy's Ramblings, which is a yarn talk. The bag is something she made, which I totally loved because it's so like Halloween-y. She has a little tag, and I got some of her yarn that she's dyed up, which is completely blowing out. Yeah, it is white.
Mama.
Yes.
I brushed my hair.
Okay, with black or gray. What is it called? The black and pink speckles. So there wasn't really a name for it, but there we go. We can kind of see. And I really like this one. All the ones that I really liked were already sold out. So I decided that I would just get this one. I do like this one still, but the ones that I really wanted were already gone. Oh gosh, here comes the crying. So this has 274 yards, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon.
Mom,
sport weight. Yes.
what are those up there?
Those are fabrics. And she included this cute little keychain gift. I've been hiding this from my kids. Close the door. You either in or out, please.
In.
So she gave me this cute little gift. Oh, I'm doing a live podcast. That's what's going on. So she gave me this, and then I also purchased, where are you? I also purchased 2 of her donut stitch markers. They are so stinking adorable. And I actually thought they were going to be heavy. But it actually is not that heavy. It's like really light. So I got 2 of those. And here is her card for her business.
Me?
No.
Mom.
And then there's more places that you can find her. So that is what I got from Randy. And she was crazy fast with shipping. Hi. Okay. Don't open the door because then it's only going to make him more upset. So that's what I got from Randy. And like I said, her shipping was ridiculously fast. I ordered one night and I literally had it 2 days later. It was so fast. I was like, holy moly, this woman is on top of it. Like, on top of it. Let's see. So the next thing I got was these Lion Brand Yarns Comfy Cotton Blend. I've seen this on Instagram, and I haven't been able to find it, but then again, I also wasn't really looking. Yes.
I didn't see this.
I will show. But I finally found this at my Walmart. It was like tucked away under stuff. So I ended up spotting it. And it is the colorway Cloud9. So it's super pretty. It has how many yards? 392 yards, and it's a lightweight. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. But we will see. The next thing I got, I went to Michael's because, of course, everyone's heard of the Karen and Pantone. And I ended up wanting to get... Yes, Emma.
Where is that little book?
You had it. Or did I put it back in here? Oh, it's in here. There you go. So, Karen and Pantone. So I found I wanted to get some more of it. Oh, wow. That's so cool. You're making a shawl the same color. Randy is awesome. She is so cool. Hi, Lisa. So I ended up going back to Michael's and getting some more of the Karen and Pantone because when I initially went the first time, they hadn't even put it out, but the lady was nice enough to pull the box out and let me pick. But I ended up getting some more after they had it put up, and it was like the shelf was already half empty, and it was only like 2-3 days later that I went. So I ended up getting 2 in Purple Mist, which is this like dusty, not dusty, kind of dusty, like a dusty purple. So I love this, and I'm going to be making it together with the Dane Gray, which I love the picture that they use for inspiration. So I'm going to be using the purple and the gray together. I'm not entirely sure what yet because there's only 127 yards, and it is, oh my gosh, you can see into my dirty laundry, you can see into my dirty hallway. Hi, Susan. I don't know what I'm going to do with these yet, but I like the way they go together. They're nice and dark and fall colored. So I'm totally going to be using those. And then I will also be using these. Emma, of course, was with me and was like, Mom, I have to have some. So she picked the, what is this? Frozen, I think it was frozen berry. I'm thinking I might do, close the door, please. And close the door behind you. I'm thinking I was going to knit. Wow, these are really blowing out. Let's see if I close this just a smidge. Is that better? Yeah. Okay, there we go. I was thinking I was going to knit a colorwork hat and mittens with this. Mainly mittens. That's what I really want. I want to do some colorwork mittens. And as much as I love crocheting, the crochet mittens that I've used, I've done quite a few at this point, and I just have not found a pattern that I like. And yes, I could make my own, but I don't like doing little small fiddly things to try and make. So I like following someone else's pattern. So I'm thinking I'll just knit them, and then I would maybe make a matching hat. I don't know if it's going to go crochet or knit, but if I'm knitting mittens, I guess I should knit the hat to match. I love the colors, have heard mixed reviews on that yarn. I have not used it yet. I love the softness of it. It's super soft. I can see how some people may not like it, and I've heard that it splits quite a bit when you use it, but we'll see. And last but not least of what I bought, I was super, super like, oh my gosh, I have to have that, is the Bernat Velvet. I think this is new. Like, this has just come out like this fall. I could be lying. I don't know. So this is in Majestic Purple, and it is this super squishy, dark, beautiful velvety material. And I love velvet. I don't wear it because it would make me extremely hot. But the feeling of velvet, there's like no other. There's no comparison in softness to me. I feel like velvet is probably one of the softest things out there. And I really, really, really want to make a rug out of this. Because as you can see, I have like industrial style carpeting. And they're carpet squares. I mean, I get why they did it, because replacing carpet in an entire room for one stain or whatever, it's expensive for them to do. It's time consuming, and it's expensive for the person moving out. So they did carpet squares so they could just replace the squares instead of the whole room. But as you can see, not the nicest carpeting. So I am going to make a beautiful rug. I'm still looking for patterns that I like. I think I just might make a doily pattern and just, you know, because I'm using thicker yarn and a bigger hook, it would mean bigger, but I don't know if it'd be big enough for a rug. So I have this one, and then I have the sandy cream colorway. So I'm thinking I'm going to do these two together. I feel like it's a nice contrast. And they're just, oh, so soft. Like, oh my gosh. I could just sit here like this forever because it's so nice. But I will spare you the awkwardness of me just sitting there with yarn on my face. And that's pretty much it for buys. The only thing that I have left to show you guys is some yarn dyeing that me and Emma did. I know some people are probably like, you let your 5-year-old dye yarn? Yeah, I don't care. It was cheap yarn. It's like Knit Picks, Bear. I think it was like Bear, not Palette. What's the other one? Stroll. I had some like leftover sport weight Stroll that was Bear. And I don't mind letting her dye with me because her colors always end up pretty cool. So the first one, this is what she did, and this is coming out way, way blown out. She said she was going to make unicorns and then named it Unicorn Cake. So it has some cool, funky colors in there. Oh, there we go. That's a little better. There's like a light pink throughout the whole thing. It's like really pastel. This is her second skein, which actually came out a little better. Like there's a lot of pastels, but then they have like this dark patch of color. And she said she wants me to make her a sweater. I don't know if this is quite enough to make a sweater, but maybe a cardigan. So that was hers. Let's see. Popcorn stitch rug. Huh. I feel like that would eat up a lot of yarn, but we'll see. I'm still looking. I'm just trying to figure it out. Next is the two skeins that I dyed, which are, I showed these on Instagram and these are totally blown out. Like they do not look vibrant at all as they do in person. This is my Winifred colorway. Like I said, we've been watching a lot of Hocus Pocus. So there is like this dark green and purple with speckles of orange and black thrown in. Now, I did use food color like the, oh, what is it called? The Wilton's like gel dye. And there's a lot more pink in here than I wanted because it was supposed to be like a really dark purple, but Wilton's, for whatever reason, it kind of tends to break and it will turn a lot of stuff pink. So I ended up, it's a little more pink than I wanted to. I love having her help me. I feel like her colors and my colors are completely different. She's very like rainbow bright and I'm a lot more like deep tones. As you can see, there's a big difference there. So yeah, I love having her help me and it's something that we can do together that I don't mind, you know, with the mess and stuff like that. Like some people like letting their kids bake and cook with them. I don't. Because it makes it so much longer and it's so stressful. But I'll let her craft with me. That I am fine because I make a mess. So if she makes a mess, it's not a big deal. So yeah, that is basically the last thing I have for you guys. I didn't get as much done as I would have liked, but yeah, let's see. Sorry, my contacts are like really dried out right now. Taught my 12-year-old daughter to single crochet last week. That's amazing. I wish my kids would sit down and let me teach them. Well, obviously Colin's way too young, even though he tries already. Like if I have a project, like in here sitting on the desk or something, he'll come up and he'll grab it and like try and put the hook in like I do. So I think he may be my crocheter and not Emma. Emma's like, make everything for me. Colin's like, I want to try. So I'm hoping at least one of them will pick it up, but we'll see. My daughter is hooked like me. That's awesome. So now at this point, it's like chatter. So basically most of the stuff got done last week, not this past week, but the last week after that. That's when most of the stuff got done, because this past week, oh, sorry, I didn't want to lose my DPN. This last week has been so busy because I've been like getting new doctors, getting a dentist set up, making appointments for all that. I had to call the California DMV. Guys, I almost blew my lid. I was on the phone for an hour and 8 minutes on hold. I finally get in contact with someone, and they tell me, you called the wrong extension. And I was like, seriously? So I ended up having to call another extension, and they were so busy, they wouldn't even put me on hold. They were like, we're having high call volume. Call back later. Click. And I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I've been trying to get a new license for a long time. And now I remember why I stopped trying to get one. So I had that. And then this past week, I was transferring all of Emma's, oh my gosh, her lesson plans for this next month for school, because we're starting homeschooling on the 4th. I was trying to get that all put into a online planner. So I was busy doing that because that took a lot. That took me all day Thursday, just sitting here on the computer, typing up her lesson plans, getting all the events and field trips and everything put in. It took forever. But that's so cool. I didn't even realize you homeschool your kids. That's awesome. Everyone keeps trying to talk me out of it, and I'm just like, nope, I am standing my ground on this one. I am homeschooling flat out. But so the title was for this video was, I thought I saw Jared Padalecki. Oh my gosh, guys. I went to Walmart and I was getting this yarn, and we were getting some extra stuff for dyeing the yarn. I needed those big, big pans that you see them use. So I ended up going, and me and Emma, it was me and Emma when we went, we saw a guy working there in the self-checkout area. You know how they always stand around trying to make sure if anything goes wrong, there's someone there to fix it. I looked over and my heart dropped into my stomach. I was like, oh my gosh, that looks like Jared Padalecki. And I was like frozen almost there for a second. And I was like, oh my gosh, that cannot be him. Like, why would he work at Walmart? What's going on? And we ended up going through the self-checkout, and he was there still. And I was like, oh my gosh. The funniest part is I was wearing my Always Keep Fighting shirt that had half of Jared's face on it. So I don't know if he saw my shirt or not, but I wanted to tell him, like, hey, you kind of look like the dude on my shirt. But I didn't. And I was like, okay, like, once I got closer, I could definitely tell it wasn't Jared. But you could still see that there is a lookalike there. And we ended up going a few days later because we had to pick up a few household things that we'd run out of. And he was working. And this time Nick was with me. I was like, Nick, oh my gosh. See that guy over there at self-checkout? And he's like, yeah, why? I was like, the last time I came, I saw him and I thought he looked like Jared Padalecki. And as soon as I said that, I was like, look at him. He turned so you could see like half of his face. And Nick started busting up and he's like, oh my gosh, he does. So at least I'm not crazy and I'm like seeing something. Like, because people tell my husband that he looks like, oh my gosh, what's that one football player's name? He had a brother, Eli Manning. People tell my husband he looks like Eli Manning, and I just don't see it. Jared Padalecki is an actor on the show Supernatural, which is on the CW, and I'm a huge, huge fan, and a lot of the people that watch me tend to be huge fans too, which is awesome. So yeah, yay to you and others to homeschool their kids. Well, thank you. I want to take that time to like mold my kids into people I actually want to be around instead of letting like the school system mold them into someone they want to mold them into. So Stephen Amell, who is Stephen Amell? I've never watched Supernatural. Oh my gosh. I didn't watch Supernatural until my son was born. So it hasn't even been 2 years yet since I've started watching it. But oh, The Arrow. Okay, now I know who you're talking about. Oh my gosh, brain fart. I hadn't watched Supernatural until my son was born because I breastfed him. So when I would sit down to feed him, and especially when they're like just born, you're feeding them like every 3 hours. So I had to find something to watch when I was constantly sitting down to feed him. And I wanted to find something that had a ton of like a ton of episodes and like a bunch of seasons. And Supernatural was like one of them. And I was like, you know what? I've never watched it. I've heard it's really great. You want to say hi? The son in question. So I started watching it and I was like instantly hooked. So yes, it is my favorite show by far. I am a little bit of a nerd over it. You want a cracker? So yeah. Yeah, I love it. I am obsessed with the ranch. I love Once Upon a Time, and he is actually named after Captain Hook. The actor's name is Colin O'Donoghue, and me and my husband were really big on Once Upon a Time when I was pregnant with him, so we decided to name him Colin after Captain Hook. Which is really weird because my daughter's name is Emma, and Captain Hook dates Emma, which is kind of weird, but I mean, what? We were thinking about Killian, but my husband would not let me do that. So we settled on the actor's actual name, which is Colin. Thank you. My kids do look just like me. I had a picture of me and my dad when I was a baby, and I was about his. What did that cracker do to you? I had a picture. I was about his age, maybe a little older, and I looked at my kids and I was like, I don't care what anybody says. They look exactly like me. Huh. Yeah. I don't know what you got in your hair. What? What? Okay. Oh, that's cool. So, yeah, that is pretty much the podcast. So I guess we could just sit here and chat for a little bit. Thank you. Yeah, Jared is an actor. I didn't know there's a rapper named Jared Padalecki. That's crazy. A clone? What? You want another one? Okay, apparently that's not what you want. This? Where are you gonna go? Uh-oh. Well, I would love to sit and chat, but my husband is in there, I think, beating up my daughter. Not really. They like to wrestle a lot, but they always end up messing up my room. So I think I'm going to call that the end of the day. And he's in here, which means he's probably going to start pulling my yarn off. Or I have like yarn needles in a basket that he's probably going to dump. So I'm going to get going. Thank you all for joining me. I love chit-chatting with you. Yeah, so I will talk to you guys later. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Bye.